handicap parking spot, that's most likely where you're going to find it.
A lot of times, I mean, when I go grocery shopping, for example, I know after a major storm, a lot of times the plows will go plow all the snow into this huge pile right in the handicap parking space. So it takes away several spaces, and then you're left not finding anything.
That's exactly it. There might be 2 or 3 spots, but now it's reduced to 2, maybe 1, depending how much snow we had.
John?
Right. And I've noticed when they have the movable handicap signs, they don't always get back where they're supposed to be, or they just forget about them and leave them up in storage somewhere
Right.
for the winter.
I've experienced that too.
Where everybody can park because they don't think about the handicap spot because of the snow cover on the ground.
And when they move the signs, sometimes they put them back in different spots.
Right.
At the same time,
Not
so
exactly
that
right.
gets a little tricky. Or you have to remind the store to put the
Right.
handicap parking sign back there, and that's sometimes where it gets tricky with portable signs and things. How about like shopping experiences? I mean, I know during the holiday time, going to different stores, it gets tricky.
Oh yeah, you know, I mean, once you do find a place to park, I mean, once you're done taking up 2.5 handicap spots because that's all you have left to park. I mean, depending how well they actually remove the snow, that could be another adventure in itself. If there's a little curb cut to get onto the walkway to the store, that's also a place that snow seems to find. So, getting in there is very challenging, and, usually by the time you get into the store, I mean, I'm all covered with snow all over my pants, my gloves are soaking wet, so I'm all psyched to go shopping now.
And wearing gloves and using a wheelchair can be an interesting experience. I know we've had talks before about what the type of gloves that are
Right.
best, because if they're too midi or whatever, it's difficult to push the chair.
Right, you have no dexterity, and like I say, a lot of gloves aren't really good for pushing chairs, anyways. Either the parts that are tacky enough, there's just not enough on the glove to really be able to push a chair. So it's like your hands are constantly sliding, and yeah, plus like I say, dexterity. I mean, your keys. You have to take your gloves off to lock your car or unlock it. So it's all the fun of winter wonderland shopping.
And going inside once you're inside the building and going to a store, a lot of times, especially
at Christmas time. Sorry, the aisles are overflowing with stuff sticking out and all that extra stuff they're trying to sell, and I usually just try to avoid them, those particular aisles, but it's usually an aisle that I want to go down because something's in the middle of the aisle that I want. And you end up having to either get someone to do it, go down and get something for you, or you try to do it yourself and end up knocking things over.
right, and that gets a little tricky. Sometimes when I always get scared when I go into a store that has a lot of like fine, like China things or whatever around, and so you're moving around so carefully in your chair not to knock something over, because if you knock it over, it'll be real bad.
Right, it's like the bull in the China shop syndrome.
And then you got to watch the people that are around you with
yeah.
bags and stuff. So sometimes they'll hit you with a bag and you'll end up moving in a certain way. So it does get tricky.
Oh yes. And
Any situations you've had inside stores?
I've never knocked a display over, but oh boy, a couple times I've hit one, or should I say clipped one, not knowing, and out of the corner of my eye I could see the display going back and forth, going, oh no, please don't fall over, don't make a scene.
Been there.
And fortunately it did not fall over. I just kind of like get out of there quickly.
I think one of the best things we could do is probably talk to the store owners afterwards and say, or during that time saying, look, your displays if they can be put in a different area. The key thing is the 36 inches worth of width.
Right.
It's very, very important, especially for turning things. It also isn't just for folks who use chairs. I think
Anybody that uses crutches, even with someone with a broken leg, a new broken leg or something, walking around, they need wider space with crutches. So.
Yeah, good point, especially if they're carrying a bag too.
Right.
Full of Christmas stuff
Bagging,
or whatever.
bouncing around on the arm. Yeah.
The width of that.
Exactly. Right, and don't forget the shopping carts. Some people, drive shopping carts like they do cars, not very well, and they might hit them or, kind of veer you into one of these